Alright, if you've watched any of the videos on this channel, you'll know that I've been talking a little bit about draft racing Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. And that's not what we're doing in this video. What we're doing in this video is testing out a rule set I have for racing Path of Radiance into Radiant Dawn. And basically what that means is you're drafting each unit you pick you can use in both games. And you play Path of Radiance and then immediately play Radiant Dawn. You can use transfers from your Path of Radiance save, all that good stuff. And yeah, I think it would be a fun idea. Obviously, if you're going to do this in an actual race format, which I'd like to do at some point, it would be a several days affair, right? You can't... I mean, Radiant Dawn alone is probably going to be like 7-8 hours for a draft run, if not more. And Path of Radiance is a good 5 hours. My best time is 5 hours 11 minutes in Path of Radiance racing. So yeah, it's gonna be like, it would be a time commitment. It would be a several days affair, but I think it could be really fun. So that's what we're testing out here. We're gonna do a little bit of that right now. And so this is actually a new Path of Radiance save or ROM that I have here. So it's not gonna be. We're not going to be using bans, so we'll be at a slight disadvantage for this run, but we'll have Jill, so we'll be at a slight advantage relative to that. So, all in all, it should even out. And I'm going to start the timer after we select difficulty. Here we go. And so, obviously, in an ideal world... I would, in an ideal world, I would be able to just stream this whole thing in one go. You know, do like a solid 5 hours of Path of Radiance in one go, but I don't have that kind of time on my hands right now. I work full-time, I've got some other hobbies I'm entertaining, you know, I don't have the time to do a 5-hour draft race during the week. Maybe I'll get on and stream the Radiant Dawn portion of this run when the time comes for that. But we're not there yet. So for now, we're just gonna do this. And so you can see our team right there on the side. And I think it's... I think it's possible that Jill is just going to be too overpowered for this Path of Radiance into Radiant Dawn draft. And so this is me testing out the rules, right? And also testing out drafting for Radiant Dawn at all. I don't know, really... You know, because it's not the same as making a tier list. Because you need to have a carry in each part, really, to go as fast as possible. So, you know, part 1 units like Nolan and Edward are going to be a lot better in a draft race context than they will be in just regular gameplay. And also Jill is just unbelievably overpowered because she's a god tier unit in both games individually. And she's the only such unit, besides arguably Titania. But, you know, we're doing what we can do. We have our boy Ike and Oscar going at it here. And I think my rule set is basically saying you can't use your main units, you can't use undrafted units for combat, but you can use them for pretty much anything else. So, you know, meat shielding, fine. Visiting villages, fine. You can't use them to rescue drafted units, though. That was the other thing in this rule set. And so the other things about rule set for Path of Radiance, Ike's free, obviously, because, come on now. And beyond Ike, Shinnon and Gatrie are free for up until they leave. After they leave, you can only use them if you draft them once they come back, but until they leave, they're both free. Just gonna trade Ike some vulneraries here, and move him up here. Use one of them vulneraries. But yeah, so this is gonna be an unrealistically, hopefully, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but hopefully this will be an unrealistically good time for Path of Radiance, because I do have Jill and Oscar, who are both exceptionally good units. Early game's going to be a little slow, just because, you know, we're moving around, we're doing our thing, but I have, historically, for whatever reason, I have no trouble completing this chapter. Obviously, it's the intro chapter, but I have trouble completing it quickly, so that's just a historical problem with the game I have. I mean, part of it is that I don't have Titania here, but I could certainly do it faster than I am. And, you know, like, see here, I'm actually scared to go attack the boss, because I don't know if Ike gets killed by the combination of the boss, that one brigand, and the Myrmidon. He's also, like, he's seeing all the combat here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put Ike in front of the boss, heal with a vulnerary, and then try to kill that Myrmidon with Oscar. Ike's going to be at full HP. We've wasted an entire vulnerary here, though, on Ike. So we've actually used we've used a vulnerary with Ike on, like, all but one player phase, which is kind of absurd. And, well, I guess Ike's going to get a level here. And just hope it's a good one, right? Speed, okay. I really have a history of Ike getting strength screwed. I've done a couple practice runs of this before I figured out how to consistently record dolphin footage with OBS. And yeah, it's it just seems to be a theme for me that Ike gets strength screwed. He just does not do well in that department. Which, like, I don't know. It's not a huge deal, but it would be nice to have a somewhat more consistently strong Ike. And 6 minutes coming through this... okay, well, he gets strength there, and I don't care about the axe, obviously, because we're not giving Oscar axes until he promotes, which probably isn't going to happen until we get the Master Seal, because I like to save my bonus experience for Jill when I'm running with Jill. And this chapter I find much easier than the first one. We just send Oscar up there, and then we send Riss and Boyd to hide in the corner, and Ike comes over here and just pops off, hopefully. I'm gonna pause my speech for a second here to apply some chapstick, because my lips get real dry this time of year. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about how my prospects look for this race. Generally speaking, I've actually, so off camera, I tried a race with this team quite recently, and I was going to just go straight into Radiant Dawn, but one of the, I think, the really cool gimmicks of this this race format that I've come up with is that you get your transfers, right? And I had a European ROM of Path of Radiance, an American ROM of Radiant Dawn, so that was not going to be compatible, and I couldn't actually do my transfers there. So I'm just doing it over, and it can't hurt to get a little practice. And also, I love Path of Radiance. I love Radiant Dawn too, but in this case, I love Path of Radiance. It's a great game. One of my... Oh, where does Path of Radiance rank among all Fire Emblem games for me, actually? That's a good question. I wonder. So Radiant Dawn's my number one, for sure. Love that game. Love that game to death. I'm quite fond of Path of Radiance, though, and maybe it's just because it's the same characters as Radiant Dawn. I played Radiant Dawn first. I played Radiant Dawn for the first time when I was 10 years old. Which I guess tells you approximately how old I am. And I loved it. I mean, I had played one Fire Emblem game previously. I had played Shadow Dragon, which also a great game. But I like Radiant Dawn better, for sure. I'm just trying to figure out where Path of Radiance ranks on that for me. Shadow Dragon, I think, is lower than Path of Radiance. Both great games. I love them both. I think really... Oh, Oscar levels up here. Okay, that's good. What do we got? Oh, hell yeah. Strength, speed, defense. I mean, you can't ask for a better level up than that. If you ask for a better level up than that, yeah, I mean, what are you doing, man? Be grateful for what you've gotten here. What you've been gifted. Is this a defeat boss chapter or a route chapter? It's a route, but I'm going to give Oscar the boss kill because I'm a little worried about Ike taking attacks from the boss and the Myrmidon. It could have actually ended... It could have been pretty ugly if Oscar had missed there. And yeah, that's annoying, but I mean, the boss was going to do that if the Myrm didn't, and Oscar can just... Oh my god, Oscar's a fucking beast, dude. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know he's a great unit, but holy shit. And yeah, so, like I said earlier, obviously I don't have the time to record this all in one shot or to stream it, which would be ideal. So you're just going to have to trust that I'm not fucking cheating and cutting out parts where I die or whatever, because what's the point in doing that anyways, right? A bunch of strangers on the internet think I'm better at Fire Emblem than I actually am. Come on. I'm an adult. I don't need that. Maybe when I was like 11, 12, 13 even, maybe 14, you never know. Maybe around that age, maybe I needed that, but I feel like I'm past the point in my life where I need that kind of validation. I need other kinds of validation, you know what I mean? I need, you know, I would like women to find me attractive and potential employers to find me intelligent, that sort of thing. It's, it becomes a much more pernicious game, really. It's not so much about, maybe it would be better if it could just still be about the superficial things, like how quickly I can beat a Fire Emblem game. But yeah, I'm not gonna cheat in this. I just hope you can take that at face value. Oh, that was a good crit though. Maybe I am cheating if I got that crit. Probably not though. Wait and see if we get some more. I actually, when I was doing this, I had to, on my last run, so I still managed 5 hours 11 minutes, which is a pretty good time for draft racing this game. I mean, with Jill and Oscar, I don't know if anything's really a good time. Those two are fucking beasts, but it's a pretty good time for draft racing this game. But I actually had to restart the final chapter like 4 times because Jill kept getting sleeped, or, you know, I forgot to put the full guard on her and the archers just fucking murdered her. Because, you know, you got like 2 guys with brave bows in that chapter. So, well, what the hell was I even... I was going somewhere with that anecdote, and I have just... It's lost. I've lost it. I no longer remember. But that's whatever. Ike's gonna go here. We'll have him wait. I'm gonna have Gatrie attack this guy. All those guys are gonna attack Shinnon, so maybe it would have been better to put Gatrie in front of him. Maybe throw some of those guys over at Ike, but... oh yeah, I was talking in the previous chapter about my favorite Fire Emblem games, so we could get back on that discussion. I think my number 2 might be FE6. I love FE6. That's a fun game. I would never fucking draft race it. God no. Because, right, either you're draft racing hard mode, which is the worst, because hard mode FE6, that's rough. Or you're draft racing normal mode, in which case I don't get my hard mode bonuses on Rutger. And if you don't have hard mode bonuses on Rutger, what's the point of even playing FE6, to be honest with you? Also, just a brief discussion of strategy here. I'm not going to be talking to Marcia because I think there would be more other phases and more combat for me to worry about with her, wasting time and such on the Gallia chapter. than there is here. So I'm actually just going to leave her there, because if I don't talk to her, she will not appear on the Gallia chapter. And, you know, the bonus here is that she doesn't actually move. So she's only going to see combat if enemies come to her. And so I'm just going to move people over here. Avoid combat from those units. Maybe that brigand didn't move at all, and that was a completely unnecessary, you know, a couple seconds wasted, but no big deal. I don't actually have a sense. I feel like I'm a little slower here than I was on my previous run, and that's because I got some early levels on Ike in the last one when I was doing my practice run of this. He's taking some hits here. I'm gonna probably need to vulnerary him on player phase, which is gonna suck because we're gonna need to face another enemy phase and another other phase if he doesn't crit Haveti. But that's whatever. Not the end of the world. Gonna be at about 15 minutes exiting this chapter, which it's not ideal, but hopefully getting Oscar back will speed things up a bit, and then we can really start to zoom once we get Jill, and that's where we're gonna hope to recoup most of our time lost. And I feel like I'm pretty good at playing quickly with Jill, which is not that's not really a brag, because it's hard to be bad at playing quickly with Jill, but you know, it's something. That's the advantage this run has. I do have one draft. So I'm not going to put the other drafts up on screen right now, but one of the drafts is like relying on just saving time with Har and Radiant Dawn. And I mean, it's not like the best Path of Radiance pick is terrible. The best Path of Radiance pick is Tanith. But there's not really any early game for Path of Radiance on that draft, which is not your ideal scenario, to be sure. And so undrafted units can rescue other undrafted units, by the way. That's a pretty common thing in draft races. Just keeping them out of the way. And like I said earlier, in case you forgot, Shinnon and Gatrie, both free until they leave. So fine to use them now, but once they leave, since neither of them are drafted here, we will not be allowed to use them again. And so I actually am going to probably... Oh, fucking hell, really? Alright, whatever. I'm probably going to do... So I drafted this as 4 individuals trying to make each team good and playable. So it's not like the most realistic draft, because in a lot of drafts you'll see people like trying to take units away and screw over their opponents, and I wasn't really trying to do that, because I plan to play all 4 of these drafts, and you know, I hope to actually do reasonably well with all of them, so it's not like I just intentionally made one draft super overpowered. But this one, if I were to guess, this one is probably the most powerful draft, just by virtue of having Jill. Who is undoubtedly the best unit for a Path of Radiance into Radiant Dawn draft. You know, the unfortunate thing for her is that she doesn't get her second pick until, you know, whoever the Jill player is doesn't get their second pick until a bit later. But I mean, this player still managed to get Oscar. So to give you an idea, the other drafts, I believe the top 2 picks were, one of them had Marcia and... Who else? Marcia and maybe Boyd? No, I would have picked Boyd after Oscar, for sure, because Boyd's better in Radiant Dawn, but Oscar's much better in Path of Radiance, and Boyd's only a little better in Radiant Dawn, you know? So I would have picked Boyd after Oscar. I don't remember oh, maybe it's Marcia and Nolan, with the logic being that... in Radiant Dawn, it's going to be Edward and Nolan are free until Chapter 5, and then it's whoever drafts them. Basically, the thinking being that at that point you have enough units to really get by. Sothe is free for the entire game, because I think Radiant Dawn, I mean, even normal mode, it's not impossible to beat the early game without Sothe, but it's prohibitive to the point of absurdity. It's just like why would you want to do that? You know, draft races are still supposed to be fun, so I don't want to just like make part 1 a slog for everyone who doesn't draft Sothe. Even if that means that the Sothe drafter gives up any carries in part 3, like it's just gonna make it less fun for everyone involved. So the thinking is basically, Nolan, you need someone to really pull the weight, and if you don't have Jill for part 1, so I wasn't sure, right? Because you could make the argument that Zihark or Tarneo are better than Nolan in Radiant Dawn Part 1, but at that point it just becomes, and you know, because you have Zihark. If Nolan's free up until Chapter 5, then that's only one Chapter 5 itself in which you have Nolan and don't have Zihark, for example. Tarneo is a bit more complicated because he's available for one chapter in Part 1. Even though he's really good. He's a very good unit. But yeah, so my thinking with Nolan was that yes, Zihark is a better unit than Nolan at join time, almost always. You're very rarely going to have a promoted Nolan by Radiant Dawn 1-6. And even if he is promoted, he's probably not going to be better than Zihark. Oh shit, is my Ike going to die here? I'm a fucking idiot, dude. Oh, thank God. Okay, I'm not an idiot. I'm the luckiest man alive, and I was counting on that to save me there. He also might not have died. I don't know how much damage this guy does to him. He's gotten a couple defense level ups. Alright, he wouldn't have died, but he also can't kill here. So I kind of want to put Ike over here and heal. And hope that Majin goes closer to Ike to attack Gatrie from 2 range. But, you know, we'll see. And we're going to lose time here. This was poorly done on my part. I'll own up to that. Oh, and this guy, I don't kill that guy? Wow. My Ike sucks. I mean, he has 7 strength. Which is pretty much the classic, my experience with Ike here. He never gets strength. I think he's got like a 40-something% strength growth, right? It's getting fucked. This guy does no damage, right? 9 attack, yeah, Ike has 10 defense, so as long as that Merm doesn't do like 5 damage, which I doubt he does. Okay, we got strength and speed there. That's enormous. I cannot overstate how huge a strength and speed level up on this god-awful Ike is. And I've lost the train of thought from earlier because I'm now stressed out about how terrible this run is starting, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Could certainly be off to a worse start. And we are going to one-round him here. Yeah, we're not worried about it. There's no risk of death here. We are going to lose the Javelin, which is unfortunate, but I prefer to just get the experience. And I could have, if I wanted to be like Galaxy Brain there, I could have traded an Iron Sword over to Gatrie with Gatrie's turn and then moved Ike around to keep the Javelin, but it's not a huge deal. You can buy endless Javelins not too far in the future. So we're just going to keep going here. This is the defense chapter. And this chapter, I'm not entirely sure what the best way to actually play this is. Because Ike and Oscar, I like getting experience on here. They're good units who I'm going to use for the entire game. And so I like actually having them see combat, but it does take extra time. For each unit that attacks on my team takes extra time. So And not only extra time in terms of actually attacking animation, but in terms of freeing up space for other enemies to move into. If we can block up the whole area, fewer enemies will be moving around. So there's an argument to be made for unequipping everyone here, but especially Oscar, who's a little behind experience-wise and just got strength and defense. That's so good. My Oscar in my last run got strength screwed. My Ike and my Oscar got strength screwed, which was the worst. And my Jill was like, I mean, she capped strength eventually, but she did it a little slower than you might expect. And Ike's not getting speed, but that's okay. He's got pretty good speed. It's really, I'm more interested in getting strength on Ike than I am speed here. So I'm gonna have Ike do that. And then I'm gonna see about Shinnon. Yeah, I'm gonna put Shinnon here. And then I'm gonna have Oscar do this. And then hopefully, you should have enough move to Kanto into that healing bush. Yes. And everyone else waits. I could have unequipped Shinnon, but the archer's not going to be stupid enough to attack Shinnon when he could attack Titania or Gatrie without taking counter. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, you might think that I'm kind of screwing myself by not having, you know, if you look at the draft here, it's, I mean, you know, barring endgame, it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive units who aren't even available in Path of Radiance in Tabarn, Volug, Skrimir, Sigrun, and Aaron. But if you really think about it, I mean, I drafted Jill. Who the fuck needs another unit? Like, Oscar, you've got the early game in Oscar and Ike, and then you get Jill and the game's over. I mean, basically, if you've kept pace, if you get Jill and you have kept pace with the Marsha player in a draft race of Path of Radiance, you're probably going to win at that point. Assuming, like, if you are done BXPing your Jill, and you are on the same chapter as the Marsha player, you're going to win. I mean, unless, obviously you could still fuck up and make a mistake and lose, but assuming equal skill in play, Jill is now a better unit. Marsha is the better unit to draft in Path of Radiance, probably because she joins earlier. You know, you get, really, I mean, it's only really one chapter that you get of, it's 2 chapters, because you don't really get Jill on the boat. You have her for part of the chapter once you've recruited her, but you haven't BXP'd her or given her any stat boosters or anything. So, you know, I say it's 2 chapters, not 3, because I don't count the prison chapter. You should, if you're racing, you should just be stealthing that chapter. Especially since I do not need to recruit any characters in that chapter. Because I haven't even drafted any of them, have I? Yeah. Fuck. I'm thinking about having a rule for this set where if a unit dies in Path of Radiance, they are actually, you can now, even if you drafted them, if you got that unit killed in Path of Radiance, you can't use them in Radiant Dawn. I think that would be really fun. You know, an even further incentive to keep your units alive, right? Because, like, there's already the incentive with transfers, especially to keep a unit like Jill alive, where Jill super relies on transfers in Radiant Dawn. She's a great unit without transfers, but she's a god tier with transfers. So I've been thinking about adding that in. I haven't decided yet, though. Shit. I don't really need the hammer, though. I don't have any axe users yet. That's the other thing. I'm gonna get axe rank on Jill, exclusively to get her axe rank up in Radiant Dawn. I don't care about her axe rank other than that. It's just, I just want Radiant Dawn Jill to have the 1 higher axe rank, because what is she? She comes with kind of mediocre, right? Does she come with B, or not B rank, C rank or D rank? I mean, whatever it is, it's not great. So try to get that. heal Shinnon here so he doesn't fucking die. I can toss that steel lance over to Gatrie at some point. I'm just gonna have everyone stand still here. I didn't bother on equipping Ike and Oscar because Oscar's only going to see one round of combat and Ike's going to see none here, in which they can counter, that is. Because that soldier in front of Ike is going to attack Shinnon, the archer's going to attack Ike, and then one soldier is going to be able to attack Oscar. So I think I save more time by not unequipping them here. Even though Oscar will double this soldier. He's not going to kill, though, which kind of sucks. I might actually go for the kill on player phase, just because, actually, is there even player phase here? There is not, so never mind. I will not go for the kill on player phase. 30 minutes, dude, that sucks. That's not fast. I was really hoping to go a little faster here. I'm gonna partly blame poor play, and the other part is gonna be blamed on. Wow, I don't have any lances either. That really sucks. So I'm gonna put part of the blame on my own poor play, and the other part of the blame on Ike's bad strength levels early on. But, yeah, not having lances here actually sucks shit. Oscar is going to suffer for that. He will run out of weapon uses before the end of this chapter. Ike and Oscar are both super close to leveling. Okay, Ike's going to level here, actually. Is he one-rounding? No, he's not. Of course he's not. He doesn't have any strength. Please get strength. Thank you. Didn't get speed, but I didn't ask for speed, I asked for strength, so am I allowed to complain there? Yeah, some would say no. Some would say no. Would they be correct? I mean, do I feel like I should just get every stat, every level up? Maybe, but we are allowed to have differing opinions, so I'll cede you that one. But, yeah, I might like to get strength and speed on every level up on every character. That would be ideal. Throw in a few other stats occasionally as well, but... Well, no strength. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if my Oscar got strength screwed. I actually wonder, because this is the exact same team that I did another recent run with, so I'm actually curious how much difference the bans will make. Because I had bans on that run, I don't have them on this run. Statistically speaking, each band is good for essentially one in each of its relevant stats per 20 levels. Right? It's a 5% increase chance. So the warrior band, which gives 5% to strength and HP, I believe, which in that run, and I did, and in this run I would have if I had it, put on moved from Boyd to Ike. So that's effectively good for 1 strength, 1 HP per 20 levels. So it's not a huge difference maker, so you wouldn't really expect it to sway the tides much, but you never know, man. It could. Why am I focusing on these guys? That's a great question. It's one that I don't really know the answer to be honest. I should just be moving along here. Steel Sword will kill him in 1 hit, which is faster, and also means that Ike doesn't face counter. And Ike can kill the archer next turn. Oscar can run down and start drawing those other enemies up. If he gets another strength or 2, he'll be able to hopefully one-round those soldiers. Hopefully one of them drops a weapon. I know the boss of this chapter drops a short spear. Oh my god, that is... Really? Skill Luck Res is your level up there? God. Oh, Oscar was way higher health than I thought. I was anticipating having to do that. I didn't even look at his HP. Jesus. Yeah, he does have defense. I'll say something about Oscar. Say anything about Oscar Nine Fingers. Say he's got defense. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that one, to be honest with you. Fuck, man. I would really... It's my own dumbass fault for not getting any, you know, not trading over Gatrie's Steel Lance, or Shinnon was holding a Steel Lance for some reason. I should have, I mean, just thrown one of those onto Oscar in the last chapter. But it's not worth restarting over at this point. Wow, that's terrible. That's just terrible. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move Ike down here, equip the Regal sword, and heal him up. And I'm also anticipating some unpleasantness here. Titania has Elixir, Riss has a Vulnerary, and Soren has a Vulnerary, so we're going to do a little trade chain. Because that boss is tough. Hopefully Regal Sword Ike can do something to this guy. Jesus Christ, man. Whatever. He'll kill him next turn. But yeah, this chapter's not going well, man. This is going to be a long early game, and I'm going to need to really zoom in mid and late game to make up for it. Fortunately, I have Jill, so I have the option to really zoom in mid and late game. But yeah, it's not going to be the best possible scenario. And Oscar's actually about to break his Steel Lance, so... Or his Iron Lance, rather. Not his Steel Lance. He doesn't have a Steel Lance, because I'm a fucking idiot. So he's going to break it on enemy phase, killing that Myrmidon, hopefully. And we're going to be left with Ike to hopefully finish the rest of this nonsense off for us. That's a good crit. It saves a Regal Sword use, which is better than not saving a Regal Sword use, I suppose. But yeah, this is going to suck. Ike's going to actually need to essentially solo the rest of this chapter, which I don't love. I will tell you that for free. I don't love it. And yeah, I don't have another lance on any of these units, so Ike's really on his own here. And Titania doesn't have a lance. Yeah, it's going to be a minute here. And I apologize more to myself than I do to the viewer, really, for the poor play thus far, but I suppose I can spare a bit of apology for the viewer as well. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. But that's a kill, and yeah, we are going to take attack at range from the boss, but hopefully we're also going to be able to enemy phase his bodyguard here. Get strength? You piece of shit. This Ike is fucking... God damn it, dude. How much damage does Emil do? 6? Okay, that's not the end of the world. 2? That's certainly not the end of the world. So we're actually going to just heal again. And we're gonna... Oh, shit, I have... Oh, wow. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit the wrong button on my controller there. And I did not realize that it would completely screw up the capture. But it did. Alright, so Emil will die here. Hopefully having not wasted too many short spear uses, because I want to give those to Oscar. Oh, speaking of which, now would be a time to do the big brain strat I was talking about earlier, so that we actually get to keep the lance. I forgot to trade Ike the Vulnerary, which means Titania has to come and trade him a Vulnerary instead. So yeah, we're at 38 minutes, which is... I mean, we're not making good time here. But... It could be worse. This guy I don't care about. And so we're just going to wait. Ike's healthy enough that we can get away with just waiting here. And presumably we kill Emil on player phase next turn. I assume I have 100 hit on him. And I assume I will have enough HP that, yeah, so his counter won't kill Ike. I have 100 hit, so we kill him here. And then Titania and Oscar both escape for bonus experience, and we're in a good spot. I mean, we're not, but, you know, as good as can be. No strength, again. So, yeah. I've made a few mistakes in this early game that could be corrected on a future run, but the most glaring was obviously not giving Oscar any more lances. And that's, don't think that our punishment for that is over yet, because Chapter 7, we start without Gatrie and Shinnon, and we're going to need to basically have Oscar survive using that short spear. Because he doesn't have anything else. So yeah, we'll have him go up and trade with Gatrie and Shinnon as soon as he can, but he can't do it yet. Get speed and strength, please. Thank you. See, was that so hard? Like, in reality, was that actually a difficult thing to do? No. 1 second. Hello. What's up? I'm recording a little Fire Emblem. No, it doesn't matter. How's it going? How's work? Probably. What? You scared the fucking internet's gonna hear your voice and... Lamau. You're worried it's gonna... a future employer will recognize your voice and it'll hurt your job prospects to be on some shitty Fire Emblem YouTube video? I mean, clearly, I can't think of another explanation. How's my brother? He's a little paranoid. But yeah, this is... So Mia will recruit herself, and we have not... No, we haven't drafted Mia. Mia is... I mean, I wouldn't fucking use her if I had, because, you know, she's not a good unit, but... But yeah. We haven't drafted Mia, so we're just going to trade that shit over. I wouldn't have bothered rescuing her like that if I had drafted her, because I wouldn't have to take a penalty for her seeing combat, but... Yeah, I gotta be careful. Shit. Whatever, at least I had the foresights on equipped Titania. I'm gonna send Oscar up here and have him kill this soldier. And basically my goal with Oscar is to break through that upper area and get to Gatrie and Shinnon before they spawn so he can get steel lances. Oh, he got strength and... Oh, he got a steel lance! Let's go, never mind. Everything is fine. The whole world is ready. This guy didn't attack Titania? Bro, you do 0 damage to Ike, so you decided to attack the guy who could counter you instead of the lady who couldn't, I guess? Bro. At this point, the game's just making fun of me. I can see no other explanation. This motherfucker hasn't gotten strength in like 5 levels. Oh, short spear's gone. Shit. Am I gonna bother? There's an armor slayer in that chest. I don't think any of the chests in this chapter are particularly good, but you get 2 chest keys, so it's not a huge deal to grab them anyways. Yeah, I'll probably grab the armor slayer. Wait, actually, probably trade one of these swords off Ike first, because, you know, I'd like to actually keep the armor slayer once I've grabbed it. Oh, I should have attacked the guy with 2 range. I'm not the smartest man on the planet, dude. But Yeah, I should have attacked the guy with 2 range. Well, there's another guy with 2 range. Not worried about this guy. Let's see. And, well, he's got 2 range. He's going for Ike instead. Alright, well, that's Gatrie and Shinnon arriving. I'm just going to use the iron. Oh, I can't use the iron sword. I guess I will use the steel sword then. And so I think my decision for rules for this was that if... So you are not allowed... You cannot deploy an undrafted unit without taking penalty. But if an undrafted unit is force deployed, you can use them to visit villages and open chests and to body block. So I'm actually going to use Titania to get that Armor Slayer. Bruh. Not Oscar's finest moment there. Gatrie one-shots the Myrmidon, which is pretty epic. I'm actually going to just leave Gatrie there on his own, and... Well, I'll send Shinnon. I'm going to send Shinnon down here and draw some of those other enemies towards Ike instead. The thinking being that the less combat Shinnon sees on enemy phase, the better, for obvious reasons. Oh, but that guy has 2 range. Oh, whatever. Send Ike up there, have him do some damage. And Shinnon's seeing a bunch of enemy phase combat anyways, so who cares? Ike's got the Regal Sword. I don't need to run the Armor Slayer to him right now. Shinnon's surrounded, but Ike's going to get a free kill on the Armor Knight next turn. He's going to get a free kill on this Armor Knight. Wait, actually, he doesn't have the Regal Sword equipped. He has Steel Sword equipped, and he has no strength, so yeah, that's kind of a yam. Oscar dodges. And, well, whatever. You know, this chapter is naturally going to be a little slow just because of the enemy volume. We'll grab that chest next turn. Steel Sword one-shots, so I'm going to do that. Get fucked. Keep Soren out of there, and Shinnon can't do anything. So I have Oscar kill this guy. Do I care about the contents of these chests? One of them's a barrier staff. I don't remember what the other one is. Yeah, whatever. So if I put Shinnon at 2 range to kill the bishop, the priest, whatever, then the knight... I don't believe this Armor Knight moves, and he should just attack Shinnon at 2 range, which would be ideal. Alright, well, I am going to pause here and go to dinner. And I will be back later.